What is going on? Beyond the break here, getting ready to submit a PSA submission. Believe it is 25 cards, taking advantage of the 2020 to 2024 special that PSA quickly ran that 2-week span beginning of December. Kind of go through the cards that we'll be sending over and kind of our thought process. We'll add some commentary per card on top of what we are estimating from a grade standpoint. We'll say majority of these cards, if not all, where we are shooting between that 9 and 10 range, but kind of give you an understanding of why we're submitting, but also an estimate or a guess of what we were thinking. So to start things off, let's just go through the cards, 25 cards. So start things off, we have Riley Green Sapphire out of 125. He had a strong end, and particularly all the Detroit Tigers had a strong end to the season. But him in particular, this is one of his rookies from Bowman 2020. For this, we have as a 10. Centering looked great. No issues on the back. Corners looked good. You can see in the back here, centering looks strong. So have this as a 10. Next up is Gunnar Henderson Aqua out of the Topps Chrome Logo Fractor. This is number 199. This we have between a 9 and a 10. These Topps Chromes it's a bit of a challenge with centering. You can kind of see here it's a little bit thicker on the bottom than the top. On the front, looks a bit better from a centering standpoint, but you never know with PSA and the centering. I do think it fits that realm of a 10, but again, the 2024 Topps Chrome has always been a bit of a challenge. So we have this as a 9 with an outside chance of a 10. Next up is a Topps Chrome from 2024 All Etch Gold out of 50, Corbin Carroll. Just love this insert they put in for Topps Chrome this past year, the All Etch. This we have as a 10. Saw no issues. The back looks good. No whitening at all. Centering left to right looked good. Top to bottom, I believe is good. I don't know if it's kind of going off of this black box and then the box here to the bottom. If that's the case, centering is a little bit off top to bottom, but left to right looks strong. I can't see this not getting a 10. Again, if anything, worst comes to worst, 9. Next up is LeBron James Maestros. Just really love the Court Kings Maestros every year. This one we are between 9 and 10, has an outside chance of a 10. And that's just due to the fact the corners, the whitening, these are pretty sensitive cards. I notice a lot of these cards have a little bit of chipping, but for the most part, this looked clean. So we have this as a 9, outside chance of a 10. Next up, Tyrese Maxey Green Fluorescent. This is a number 210. This we have as a 9. There is one corner here, a little bit of whitening, especially with this mosaic, 2023 mosaic. The darker back just makes it a challenge to get a 10 here. But we have this as a 9. But overall, any card out of 10, I'll try to grade. You'll notice a lot of the cards that we are submitting this go around are majority of our baseball players that we've been picking up, hopefully getting back towards the start of spring training. On top of that, we are submitting some basketball with the mindset that we'll be getting back as basketball starts gearing up and playoff talk starts gearing up with that as well. All right, this is one of those prospects that we've been buying a lot of. This is Aiden Miller of the Phillies, one of their top prospects. This is the Prospect Power Up Mini Diamonds out of 150. We have this as a 10. Darker back makes it a bit of a challenge as usual, but I did not notice any whitening that I recall. Maybe in that one little corner there, but overall we have this as a 10. Centering looked great. You can see here left to right. On the front too, left to right. No issues, top to bottom. It looks good to me. So yeah, we have this as a 10. Here's another prospect, Jace Young. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. His brother's on the Rangers. He came up last year for the Tigers. Again, had a strong finish to the season. This is the gold from Bowman Chrome out of 50. We have this as a 10 as well. Centering is always challenged with this Bowman Chrome. I think it's the 2023 Bowman Chrome. Usually left to right is a bit of a challenge top to bottom, but to me, all around looks good, no issues at all. Corners great, surface no issues. So we have this as a 10. Here's another top 10 overall prospect in baseball, has not been called up just yet. This is the Walker Jenkins purple out of 250 for the Twins. We have this as a 10 as well. This is the newest Bowman Chrome. Not a big fan of this. It's 2024, but centering looked good. Centering is a bit of a challenge to detect here because there's all these like indentations, but you can kind of see I kind of been going off of this triangle here and comparing it to this triangle down here. And left to right, top to bottom, looked good. All look similar. Surface looked great. No issues with the corners, so we have this as a 10. Here's someone who had an amazing rookie season on top of a strong playoff performance. Jackson Churio, Future Stars logo fractor rookie. We have this as a 10. No issues at all. Just looking this over. Centering looked good. Is these two triangles. Again, you can kind of go off of that as a basis. Yeah, so we have this as a 10. Next up, Roman Anthony. This is one of the shimmers out of 199 top 10 prospect for the Red Sox and overall baseball. This is a 10. We have this as a 10, no issues at all. Now that I'm looking at, maybe we might shoot that to a 9. I can't tell that corner. I gotta look at that corner again. But center look good. You can see again, left to right, top to bottom. Looks pretty even for my eyes, and then surface looked good too. So I'll have to reevaluate that corner, but if that's the case, I would probably knock this down to a 9. Corbin Carroll, another player we've been buying a lot of second-year cards of. This is the purple out of 250 Gold Cup. This we have as a 10. Again, the 2024 Topps Chrome, the centering in the back is a bit of a challenge, so we'll see what this looks like. But to me, the centering looks strong on the back as well on the front. So had this as a 10, but you never know. Next up, Yordan Alvarez Green from 2020 Topps, I believe 2022, excuse me, out of 99. This we have as a 10 as well. Surface was great and didn't see any scratching. Corners, I think centering on the front looks strong. On the back is a bit of a different story here. You can kind of see top to bottom, thicker on the top than the bottom, and even a little bit thicker on the left and the right. But when you look at the front, I would say it's a little bit better. So I know sometimes PSA will take the back into consideration. Sometimes they'll kind of let that slide if the front looks as strong as it is. So we had this as a 10. But again, you never know with that centering on the back. Tyrese Maxey Reactive Yellow Rookie, NBA debut. This we have as a 10. No issues that we found. Centering is a bit of a challenge I found with these mosaics, but in my eyes, centering looked good. Surface, again, no issues. Corners, all that. So we have this as a 10. Aiden Miller, we have this actually as a 9. This is the refractor out of 499. There was just one scratch mark on the front. I'm not going to dive into it, but everything else checked out. So we have one little scratch mark we just couldn't get off. There's a little bit of a smudge, but other than that, so we have this as a 9 due to that one little scratch. Joel Embiid Blue from the Deca 2024 Deca Prism. This we have as a 9. Centering looked good. It's been a bit of a challenge with these centerings, but the centering for this one, it looks strong. If anything, there's just 2 minor dimples. I haven't seen a lot of these dimples for this set. I'm hoping that kind of gets a pass by PSA. We shall see. This is kind of more of a test run. This is my first one grading the Deca, so we'll see. But I do have this as a 9 due to the fact of those dimples. Kevin Durant, red fast break out of 100. We have this as a 10. Centering on the front, again, going back to centering, I'm always harping on centering because it seems to be the biggest play. Looks good. Front, no issues at all. Surface, no issues. Corners, no issues. The back, however, centering is a little bit thicker on the right than the left. So again, one of those cards where we anticipate a 10 just due to the fact that the front looks much better from a centering perspective. I think PSA will let this slide and give this a 10. Here is a Justin Herbert. I think it's the only football card I'm sending. I'm more just banking on he's having a strong year and Chargers making the playoffs by the time I get this back. Hopefully the Chargers are in the playoffs and potentially making a run. I kind of want to get a Herbert card graded. This is the maroon, 149 out of 149. Centering for these selects is always difficult. Left to right, you can kind of go off these little boxes and larger boxes, and then top to bottom is just even, and that looks good to me. So centering looked good. Back, no issues, no dimples, no scratches. So we have this as a 10. All right, the biggest card of the order. This is the Bobby Witt Topps Chrome 2023 Gold, or out of 50. So Gold Cup second year. This, I want to say 10. Starting to look great, no issues at all. Again, you can see on the front, no scratch marks, nothing. If anything, I think there's just one little tiny issue with the corner, tiny. Again, a lot of these have that though. I'm gonna say between a 9 and 10 just because I don't want to get my hopes up. That's a definite 10. Any kind of little doubt, I always say between a 9 and 10. So I'm gonna say between a 9 and 10 with an outside chance of a 10. Giannis Obsidian Electric Etch International. This is from 2023 Obsidian. This is a 10. Centering looks strong. No issues, especially with the thicker cards. Always a bit of a challenge, but to me, this is a 10. Aiden Miller, probably the main prospect of this order, but this is the first Bowman from Bowman Chrome 2023, or 2024, excuse me, first Bowman. This is the Lunar Glow, so not numbered. This, to me, is a 10. We had no issues with it. Centering looked good. No issues with the corners. Surface, all good. So we have that as a 10. Paolo Banchero, Purple Flash Mezzanine, I think. This out of 175 too. This we have as a 10. If anything, a little bit thicker on the left than the right, but on the front, I thought the centering was a bit better of an appearance than the back. So usually typical with a lot of this Panini product, back seems to be a little bit off centering for some of these, but we have this as a 10. Here's another Jackson Churio Sky Blue Bowman Chrome, not numbered. This we have as a 10. Again, centering good, especially with these Bowman Chromes. Always best to tilt to look sideways at these. Don't look top to bottom. Try to pull, look at like this view just for the fact to kind of get a better gauge on left to right, top to bottom. And we think this has a good job at 10. Here's another Giannis Antetokounmpo blue fractal. I really just like the fractal insert and also the color match. I think it's the blue wave with the sweet Milwaukee jersey, blue jerseys. This we have as a 10. We really wouldn't be saying this unless we were pretty sure this would get a 10. So we have this down as a 10. Here is another prospect, Ethan Salas, blue out of 150 Bowman Chrome. This centering looked good. I think if anything, you really want to be nitpicky, a little bit thicker on the right than the left. Top to bottom on the back looked good. Again, if you really want to nitpick, a little bit thinner up here, a little thicker on the bottom. But to me, I would say I'm between a 9 and a 10 for this, just for centering just being slightly off. But other than that, everything else came out clean. Here's a Julio Rodriguez purple checker, I think, out of 99. This we have as a 10. Saw no issues. A little bit difficult with this Topps Finest, this year's Topps Finest, just due to all the coloring on the back. But to me, I saw no issues from a centering nor a whitening surface issue. And last but not least, this is just Bobby Witt Jr. Logo Fractor second year Gold Cup. This we are between a 9 and 10. Again, centering is just a little bit thicker on the left and the right. Other than that, though, no issues with corners and no issues with, and you can see on the back too, a little bit thicker on the right than the left. Other than the centering, no other issues outside of that. So we have this between a 9 and a 10. But yeah, 25 cards, hopefully getting this back. Like I said, you know, majority of them, the mindset is with baseball, by the time we get this back, baseball will be ramping up. Basketball will be kind of gearing up for that playoff talk, getting some players back into the conversation of who's going to be from a star players, but also what teams are going to be in the playoffs, trying to get that gauge or an idea of what that would look like. So I want to have a nice inventory for those hot topics at that given time. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. And as always, please leave comments in the comment section. Love interacting with you all. Till next time, peace.